got a lost muscle car, we'll find it.
My name is Wes Eisenchain. I created an online community for people searching for their long-lost muscle cars. On this video podcast series, I'll talk to desperate car lovers about how their favorite rides went missing, and with your help and our vast network of internet gearhead sleuths, hopefully we can track down some answers. Buckle up for surprising stories, shocking reveals, and some epic owner car reunions. This is a very unique and special episode of Lost and Found Muscle Cars that we pre-recorded prior to the launch of this series. We're hoping you can help police solve a cold case crime that involves a 1989 Camaro that we're looking for. Please watch my interview with Detective Chuck Roth from the Boise Police Department in Idaho. And at the end of the show, we'll post contact information for anyone who has tips or leads. Thank you. Welcome to Lost and Found Muscle Cars. I am your host, Wes Eisenchain, and we're touching on a lot of different subjects here on Lost and Found Muscle Cars, and one of them actually that came to my attention is from the Boise Police Department. There was a case of a missing lady back in the early 90s, and lo and behold, there was a car that could be tied to it. And I was lucky enough to be informed by the folks at the Boise Police Department that they would like to solicit us fans. And lo and behold, guys, we are the sleuths for old cars. So at this moment, I would love to formally welcome Detective Roth from the Boise Police Department. Detective, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate
Wonderful.
This.
Yeah. So let's start off with a little bit of the case involving Krystyn and what took place in 1994 that sort of led to a search here for this Camaro.
It's a 29-year-old case now, but we've been really working this for most of that time. This did start in 1994 with a 17-year-old girl named Krystyn Dunlap, hyphenated Bossy. She had written a runaway letter, and then shortly after discovering a letter by her mother, she found another note that was much more lengthy and descriptive about her plans to leave for at least a year, and then apologized and would be back at some point. Her mother, Kim, contacted Boise Police Department in 1994. She went missing October 16th, put her into our system in NCIC, which every state has its national. So if she's found in, say, Minnesota by police departments there, it would show that she's a runaway, and they would contact a local police department. So interviews started being conducted by her friends, family, anybody and everybody, including her boyfriend at the time, which there's a significant age difference there. But nonetheless, it all went to dead ends. In 2011, detectives here opened up this case again, and they were, hitting dead ends, re-interviewing same people, friends again. But now you're talking several years have passed, and memories are starting to fade. Ultimately, I was asked to reopen the case in 2021. Some things, when I opened it up, it led me to the exact same location these detectives have already done. There wasn't something big that they were missing. The boyfriend at the time, he died in 2021 when I opened up this case. So I couldn't talk to him myself either. The detectives that did interview him at the time in 2011, they're great detectives, and I don't know if there's any other strategy I would have used differently. But that would have been my first go-to. That wasn't an option anymore. So other people that became a part of this investigation, I learned significant information that has led us to where we are now. We have really good information of the possible whereabouts of Krystyn Dunlap's remains. The same information also has branched off to the vehicle that was involved to transport Krystyn's body. So we've done multiple searches. It's not a secret. We've done multiple digs in the desert, a certain area out here off Pleasant Valley Road and outside south of Boise. We've done extensive searches on the ground through the desert, and it's still ongoing. So the vehicle in question, it's a picture that you guys saw in the media release, and this was just recent. We sent that out locally, but mainly I was able to track down this vehicle to the last known owner, not last known registered owner, to have had this vehicle in his possession in a town called Sun Valley, Nevada. Now there's Sun Valley, Idaho, and so it can get confusing, but Sun Valley, Nevada is his last known location. Talking to this gentleman, we learned that there's about 4 registered owners until the year 2000, where the car just became inactive. So we have since talked with him. The last time he saw it, he said he gave it away to an unknown gentleman in the Sun Valley, Nevada area for racing parts. So that was kind of what it was meant to be down there, was just to use his parts. I've contacted the National Insurance Crime Bureau, NICB, which is they specialize in insurance fraud and like grand theft. You have a lot of retired property crime detectives who work in grand theft autos that work in that business, in that bureau, and they have a database, a national database that can show, like, say, for instance, they're looking for parts, or usually that I learned that the last 8 digits of a VIN number to an 89 Camaro is tied to the transmission and engine typically. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I learned. And so he ran this specific vehicle and VIN number and has not found anything related to it since 2000. So I've learned that, talking to NICB, that with vehicles, and hopefully you guys can help me on this, but in some states, such as I learned in Washington, that there's a time limit. So if a vehicle becomes inactive, non-registered, for about 6 years, then a scrapyard or salvage yard can recycle that vehicle and demolish it, and just typically log in the VIN number to say, hey, it's been recycled. Some other states have different timelines. I don't know, but I'm specifically looking for Nevada. This information has been sent to NICB supervisor in Las Vegas, so he controls the western states, to follow up on that. The good news is I haven't heard anything back from them, meaning, and I talked to them, meaning that this vehicle very well could be in somebody's backyard. I know how it is. Like I was raised with my father too, and racing, midget cars, 2 race cars, and racing stock cars. We had a couple cars for parts, right? I mean, so we're just hoping to get the word out, to especially you people that know this, to get out and to get out and look, check VIN numbers. We have Crimestoppers that have offered $1,000 reward for information to lead in this vehicle that will lead to a felony arrest. And I know the family is searching for money as well. We're always looking for it. But man, if we can get somebody to get this vehicle, that vehicle I need, is crucial for evidence that needed to convicting someone in this case.
Yeah, what you're saying, it speaks to our audience. It really does. Our audience is the kind of people who is peering in backyards, who does know about that car that's sitting in the back corner of somebody's shop and it's been there for 15, 20 years. Now, a car like this, it appears to be, this 89 Camaro. When we really zero in on the model year 89, we had a couple options for the car. We had the Z28, which was a performance package along with the IROC. And then there was the RS Camaro, and just with some VIN search by some of our sleuths, it appears this could be an RS Camaro based on the flat hood that is on this car. The Z28/IROC would have had some louvers in it, so more of a performance-oriented car was the Z28 compared to the RS, which is more of an appearance package, cloth interior kind of car. Now, one thing that really jumped out to our fans on Lost and Found Muscle Cars is those wheels. So those wheels are referred to as centerline turn 4 wheels, and they're an aftermarket production wheel that is pretty valuable today. People really want those on their car just to give their Camaro a vintage look and feel to it, because these cars were only 5, 7, 8, 10 years old at the time, and that's what you did. You modified your car, you made it your own. But there's enough of that car still left in that frame that we can tell that it's never been painted. That looks to be the original paint on that car. Now, Detective, do you have any information as to when this car may have left Idaho and made its way to the suburbs of Reno, Nevada?
Yes. So the last registered owners actually were shocked to find out that 23 years later, they're still the registered owner to the vehicle. So it hasn't been registered since. And the last time they had it was in 2000, when one of them moved down to a neighboring town near Sun Valley, Nevada, and gave it to this guy that lived in Sun Valley, Nevada. He had since allowed somebody to take it for parts, and didn't think anything of it.
This was a running and driving car in 2000, making its
Yes,
way
and
down.
Yes, I specifically asked that question. Was it operable? And they said absolutely. There was nothing wrong with it.
Yep. So one thing that our sleuths will be able to help do, and especially people we're speaking specifically to you fans here in Reno, northern suburbs of Reno, is to check backyards, look in garages. We're all car sleuths. We all know what all of our friends have. This car could have very easily have been passed along to somebody else and is residing as a project car somewhere, maybe in a backyard. Maybe it's in a lot with 10 other cars. Maybe it's in a junkyard and that somebody doesn't have registered, but it's, we all know that one guy with 30 or 40 cars in his backyard.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the salt conditions are in Idaho, but that car doesn't look to have been worn hard, which, having that transformation from Idaho down to a southern climate where you're not going to see any salt, the likelihood of this car's sheet metal still being on this car are good. Hence the reason why it could have been parted or used for parts down in that climate. But for the most part, I see Western cars and they don't use the salt like we do here in the Midwest. And this car could very well still be in that area as a non-runner or non-op car. And whoever has it, they haven't done anything wrong. They're the ones that possess a vehicle that could potentially help solve a crime. There's nothing more admirable than being able to help a family receive closure.
The family's been very involved, and they, like anybody else, wants answers pretty significantly, rightfully so. It's heartbreaking to hear them, because I communicate with the family a couple times a week at the minimum. They're looking for answers, and man, we're trying to find them.
It's amazing when law enforcement allows the community to help out and use their expertise. There's so many people out there there's going to be people who are just 89 Camaro experts who are going to take a look at this story, and they're gonna network. They're gonna move this story forward. We're gonna have them commenting below in our post, making sure that they tell us what they need to tell us, and get that information to you guys. Use Google Earth. Take a peek at, this is a free tool we all get to use. And you can look down. These cars, they're very identifiable. Google is so good with clear imagery now from above. And of course, give the leads to the detective. Please don't climb over fences. Please don't knock on doors of somebody you don't know. If this car still is gray, we're gonna be able to see that from Google Earth. Now, there's chances, detective, that this car could have been altered along the way.
I have no doubt. Especially in the race car business, right? People want to, maybe they use the body and they painted it up and, use it in a race. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past somebody because it's a nice looking car, right? I'd want to race it, but if we can get guys just to look at the VIN number on that and compare it to the media release we gave you guys and that they have access to, that's why we put it there. We want people to know this information.
The one thing that's really interesting about this case to me, she's the same age I would be right now. She's the same age, detective, as we had discussed that you would be.
Right.
I think of my parents right now when I think of that, and how hard this would be. I go back to 1994. I was a junior in high school, so that's what she was. And for all that time to have passed to get to now, I mean, there's nothing. Well, lost and found muscle cars would want to do more than to help find this Camaro and really just put a dot on that I and cross that T and put a period at the end of the sentence.
I know I went to the right people, man. You guys are hardworking people, and you do the right thing for the right reasons, man. This was a sign from above or something, man, because you guys reaching out to us is amazing, unexpected. I was told by NICB, like I mentioned before, to look into IROC fan bases and outlets, and that there's a whole bunch of different types of groups that I could reach through, and that was the next step, was to go. But you guys hit us first, and that's awesome.
That's, and you look at that body Camaro. That's called the third generation Camaro, right? So that car debuted in '82, ended in '92 for that body style. But right now, right as we're chatting, this car is hitting its zenith in popularity again. The people who had these cars as their first car when they were in high school, like we were, they have money, they have buying power now. What do they want? They want that old Camaro back. So there's a very good chance this car could just repopulate back up. Having been off the grid for 20, 30 years, hey, I got 2 cars in my garages that haven't been insured since the 90s. So there are plenty of opportunities for this car to be in Nevada, which is a northern suburb of Reno. So folks, please do your sleuth and roll up your sleeves. Get looking for this 1989 Chevrolet Camaro. Boy, if that thing still has those center turn wheels, or if you remember being in that area and buying a set of those wheels back in the early 2000s, that could be the key that Detective Roth is looking for, right?
Man, absolutely. Any parts, anything that can lead a set. The last known location of that vehicle, man.
Detective Rolf, it's been an honor to talk to you guys, to be able to hear Krystyn's story, and also to discuss this 89 Camaro. I feel like this will go viral. We will have people talking about it. So pleasure to have you on, Detective Roth, and let's get to work.
That was an honor. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
To all of our viewers, thank you for watching, and thank you for any tips that you may be able to provide to the Boise Police Department about this cold case. Here is the information about the 1989 Camaro RS once again. The VIN number 1G1F P21E3KL147418. This car was a 5-speed manual transmission with a 305 Chevrolet engine. If you have any information, please reach out to law enforcement at Crimestoppers of Southwest Idaho. Phone number 208-343-COPS. That's 208-343-2677. You can also find them online at www.343cops.com, or leave a tip using the P3 Tips app on your mobile device. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Krystyn Dunlap family and friends and loved ones. Thank you for watching Lost and Found Muscle Cars. I'm Wes Eisenshank.